Is Rich Dad Poor Dad worth reading in 2022, you ask? Well, in this video, I'm gonna share my top 6 reasons why it is still a must read, and at the end of this video, buckle up, I'm gonna share a hack to get all the value you can out of the book without actually reading it. Save you hours of your life, so here we go. All right, so number one of the biggest things that you get out of this book is the mindset of doing the traditional crap, right? We've all been taught, almost from birth, whether it be our parents, our teachers in school, and even just society in general. We've been taught that we need to grow up, go to school, get good grades, don't do drugs, right? Go to college, get a degree, and then you can get a good paying job, and then you'll work there for many years if you don't get laid off several times in the meantime. But you work there, and then eventually as you get to that point, you'll be able to retire, and then life's finally good because you hit your olden and golden years, right? Here's the reality. People have been using this plan forever, yet that has not worked, has it? I mean, people have been working their jobs, they're slaving away, and then they're watching YouTube videos like this, trying to figure out how to get out of that dead-end job, or even a job that maybe they make good money at, but they're like, is this enough? Like, I'm not getting the freedom that I was promised. Well, here's the thing. Tony Robbins says, success leaves clues. Well, you know what? The clues all point that traditional mindset has yet to work today. And how do I know? Because most of those people that believed in that mindset are now becoming our clients, trying to undo that crap, okay? So that doesn't work. You know, the same old working a job, saving forever and everything else doesn't work, all right? Number 2 that he talks about is that assets pay you money. Now, many people think that their number one, their biggest asset they have are their homes. They'll say, yeah, my house, that's an asset. I own something. But if that house isn't paying you money, is it really an asset? Well, that's Robert Kiyosaki's argument in Rich Dad Poor Dad. He says, no. If it's not paying you money, it's not an asset, it's a liability. It's just costing you money. Think about it. The average American, they really just pay for a house. They pay for the mortgage, they pay for the taxes, the insurance, they pay for the bills, everything costs money. So if you really have a true asset, it's gonna pay you money. You want cash flow. I remember my friend growing up, when I was in my 20s, I just read this book. One of my friends was renting out his basement, and I thought, oh, that's what he means. He's actually making income off of this. Now, he wasn't making a lot of money, but it was enough to pay his mortgage. His renter was paying the mortgage for him while he was building equity in that property. Now, you can do a lot better than that. Just know that many people, when we talk to them, they'll say, Chris, I've done everything right. I've paid off my debt. I've saved a lot of money, yet I don't have enough passive income. This is the biggest mindset, the biggest reason why people stay trapped. They're in an accumulation mindset, but they've never got to a place of passive income or cash flow mindset. All right, so number 3, debt is not evil. I know for those of you that are Dave Ramsey, I was gonna say children, hopefully you're not his children, Dave Ramsey followers, fans, whatever you wanna say, this is like the cardinal sin to say debt is not evil, because he'll say debt is the worst thing in the world, even worse than killing your parents, right? Okay, maybe he doesn't say that, but regardless, debt is pretty bad in his opinion. Well, Kiyosaki's argument is that debt is not evil. It's neither good nor bad. It's purely a tool or a weapon, depending on how you use it. You, as the person, it really depends on you. Just like he says in the book, there are no good or bad investments, only good or bad investors. Same thing with debt. There's no good or bad ways of debt. It's really based on who you are. If you're like the biggest spender in the world, I get it. Debt and you are not gonna be best friends. If you're gonna blow the money and you almost need like Spendaholics Anonymous to help you, that support group, you should never use debt. Same thing, if you're a gambler, you just wanna go throw the money in the stock markets or in Bitcoin or whatever, you're just gonna gamble it and hope you make money, debt is not the way to do it. But in the hands of the right person, it can use it wisely, debt, it can be perfect. Even for those of us that are in business, many of us have used debt. We haven't always bootstrapped things. I've done bootstrapping before, but I've also used debt in business and made huge returns off of it. Why? Because I know I can control the returns. Heck, my first SBA loan, I remember it was $25,000. Cost me $130 a month. $130. If I can't make $130 a month off of 25 grand, I shouldn't be in business. I should just go back to working a job. This is true for anybody. If you can make at least that much, you're paying that debt off just fine. That makes sense. Same thing with investing. If you can make good, consistent returns, then it can be a great use of your money. So debt is not always evil. It's really good. It's neither good nor bad. It's based on who you are as the investor. That comes to number 4. He talks about passive income. Passive income is the key to freedom. It's not about accumulating money. Just like I've talked about with many of my clients come to me, some of them have millions of dollars saved up in the retirement plans, yet they can't retire. They can't stop working. Because why? It's not paying them. It's like one of my clients I had in the state of California. He just retired from his work. He had $1 million in his retirement plan. He said, Chris, I want $10,000 a month, but my financial advisor says I can only live on 3%. So that's only about $30,000 a year. That's not enough to do anything. What do I do? Well, we got him investing for passive income. We got him things like real estate investing and oil and gas. Things like he talks about in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, actually applying it. And what happens? 6 months later, he's making $12,000 a month on his investments, on that $1 million. It's now more than enough. He only wanted $10,000 a month. We got a bonus $2,000 a month extra, all because of passive income. It's not about how much you save and accumulate, it's how much you accelerate. It's how much you can create passive income with. So key point, if there's anything else you get from that book, it's about that passive income is what leads to true freedom. And then number 5, he talks about the quadrant, the EBI Quadrant. That's for employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. Now, this quadrant right here is really key because most people are in either the E or the S quadrant. They're either the employee or the self-employed. Now, these are good if you want to make active income, but you do not make passive income in those two quadrants. There's no freedom. If you're not working, if you're not actively working, you don't get paid. There are many people that consider themselves as business owners, yet they're actually not. They're not business owners, they're actually self-employed. I've been there. I've been that self-employed person. And I've been that person where on vacation I'm stressing out because if I'm not working, I'm not making money. And that's not the kind of life you want to live. So you'd rather be on the B and the I quadrants. Being the business owner. The business owner has systems and people in place. You're leveraging other people's time, energy, and talents, or you're leveraging systems within the business to ensure that you always get paid whether you work or not. Most people do not have a business, but that's the goal, is get your business to a place where it creates systems. And or you become the investor, where, as we just talked about before, you start generating passive income. Now, just so you don't get this mixed up, there are many people in real estate right now that say they're investors, but in truth, they just have a business. Their business is flipping properties or wholesaling and doing things like that. That's not really an investor type of perspective. Investor is where you're building passive income whether you're working or not. That is what it means to be an investor. So our job is, if you're in the E or the S quadrant, and maybe even the B quadrant, how do we move more to the B and the I quadrants? How do we move more into that place so that you actually create real freedom? And that's what this is really all about, is that your belief determines your action, your perspective, and how you see money, how you see everything is the difference. This is what I did. I woke up, I read this book as a financial advisor, didn't quite know how to implement it until I left doing that. And this is the hack I'm going to share with you guys. This is the key secret. Because many people read this book. In fact, I would say the majority of people that read Rich Dad, Poor Dad never become rich, never create the passive income that they need to do. But there are a few percentage of us that actually have succeeded at doing it. What did we do? What was different? Well, as a financial advisor, I read this book a couple times. And I was thinking, hey, Rich Dad, Poor Dad supports everything I say. Kiyosaki loves financial advisors. In truth, he doesn't. He actually preaches against the traditional financial mindset. He says to do the opposite. But, of course, as a financial advisor, you want to see whatever you want to see, right? It's that whole perspective. You have your own little story, your own narrative going on in your head. Well, my narrative was, he likes what we do. We invest. We're investors in mutual funds. No, we were good savers in mutual funds, and we're really just gambling in those places. But when I realized that financial advisors weren't financially free either, right? They were still struggling. They were still having to work. And if you take away all their commissions, you take away all their trails and renewals, all the things that they make money off of, guess what? They don't have enough money to survive. They can't take care of their needs into perpetuity for the rest of their lives because they don't have passive income coming from those investments, just like their clients aren't becoming financially free. And that's how I woke up. I realized, wait, my clients aren't financially free? Even the ones that are retired really are wondering if they have enough to retire. All the financial advisors, and there's over 100 in just my office alone. All these financial advisors, none of them were financially free. Even the ones that make good money weren't able to retire off of their mutual funds. They weren't able to retire on their investment. And even to this day, many people I talk to, even clients that have had multiple millions of dollars, realize they can't retire financially free because it doesn't lead to passive income. So the hack is this. If you want to get the education and actually learn how to apply it and make it work in your life, find your own rich dad or rich mom. Find your own mentor. Find someone who's been there, done that, and still doing it today. That is the key. You start to do that, oh my goodness, your world will be rocked. And that's what I did. 2006, I found my own little rich dads. I found multiple people that were already doing those things. I started to learn from them, and what happened later that year, after I quit being a financial advisor and rejected everything I learned, I was able to become financially independent as a 28, almost 29-year-old. You can do the same thing too, but the shortcut to success is not just reading a book. It's about not what you know, it's about how you apply it. And when you have a mentor to help you apply those things and it becomes real to you, that's when you get the real benefit. So guys, I would love to hear your comments down below. Who's your rich dad or your rich mom? Who's your mentor? Who do you trust? So if you like this video, go check out this next video, What Rich Dad Poor Dad is Missing.